Hello, Mishbucha, it's Courtney, America's Jewish mother. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with 2 tag videos in a probably futile attempt to get caught up with my tags, but hey, I'm trying. So, at least I'm going to get 2 of them off my plate today, and then my to-do list of tag videos will go down to 15. So yeah. Anyway, so this is I'm going to do the What the F Are You tag, which was originally created by Say Kevi, and Kevi also tagged me, so thank you, Kevi. And then I will also be doing the D tag, which was originally created by Jim at Jim's Books, Reading, and Stuff. And I was tagged in this by Paula at Draw Your Book, so I will link everyone's channels and the questions of the 2 tags down below. So I'm going to do the What the F Are You tag first, and then I will do the D tag. So, number 1, what the F is your name? Does it have any meaning? So my name is Courtney, the name of my channel. According to one of those baby name websites, it's a French dynasty name, but as far as I'm aware, it's not like a family name, and I don't think that I was named after anyone, again, to my knowledge. Question 2, what the F is your gender? So I'm a cisgender woman. Number 3, what the F are your pronouns? She, her, and hers. Number 4, what the F is your ethnicity? So white, but I've never done one of those DNA tests, so I don't know what other ethnicities might be in my background. Our family name, Ferreter, is Irish in origin though, so take that for what it's worth. Number 5, what the F is your sexuality and why? So I identify as bisexual. I have had relationships with both men and women and experience attraction to both genders, so that seemed like an appropriate label. Number 6, what the F do you do besides Booktube? So if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I teach college students. I teach English. I teach first year composition, and I also teach American literature, African American literature, multicultural American literature, etc., etc. I also practice yoga a few times a week. I walk and play with my dog Charlene, and that's pretty much it, honestly, besides reading. So I live a pretty quiet life, but it's very stable and it's routine, which are things that I really love and appreciate. So yeah. Number 7, what the F other identities do you claim? Well, obviously Jewish, right? America's Jewish mother. Teacher, dog mom, Southerner, and also American. Those are probably the main ones that come to mind. I feel like if you are from the United States, whatever region of the United States you're from has like some kind of influence over your identity. When Kevi did this tag, she talked about being like a Chicagoan, and because I was born and raised in the American South, I feel like Southerner is also not like the most significant part of my identity, but you know, it definitely plays a role. So number 8, how the F do your identities influence what you choose to read? So my being Jewish especially influences my reading, my teaching, and also my research, because one of my areas of expertise is 20th century Jewish American literature. And when I teach general American lit courses, I will almost always include at least a couple of Jewish American writers. I've taught Anzi Azirska before, I've taught Malamud before, I've taught Isaac Bashevis Singer before, and probably a couple other people. And then I've also published 2 articles on Jewish American figures, Sidney Hook, one on Sidney Hook and one on Tony Kushner and Angels in America. And in case anyone is interested in my academic articles on these subjects, I will link them down below just in case you want to see them. And number 9, who the F do you tag? So if they would like to do this tag, I tag Cynthia at Book Whimsy, I tag Cousin at Always Doing, I tag Jen at Remembered Reads, and I tag Sean the Book Maniac. So again, thank you, Kevi, for the tag, and I do think this is an interesting way for us to get to know each other a bit better. So on to the D tag. So D is for Dahl. What is your favorite book by Roald Dahl? So I'm gonna go with The Witches, but not necessarily because of the actual book, although I did read it and enjoy it in my childhood, but mainly because it was made into a movie or a film adaptation in the early 1990s starring the iconic Angelica Houston, who was awesome. So yeah, super campy, loved it. D is for Doctor Who. What is your favorite book about time travel or your favorite Doctor Who? So I don't read a ton about time travel, so I'm going to go with Kindred by Octavia Butler because it's a really good book. I find it really smart on the subject of racial dynamics. It has taught well when I've taught it to my students in the past, so yeah, definitely Kindred. D is for Dark. What is the darkest book you have read? So I think this year it's probably a toss-up between either The Vegetarian by Han Kang, which is really good but super weird and deals with a lot of dark themes and has a lot of dark content, and also the Malevolent volume by Justin Philip Reed, which was a collection of poetry that I read a bit earlier this year. But I imagine that probably both of those are going to soon be supplanted by the last of the Booktube prize books that I have to read for this round, which is Our Bodies, Their Battlefields by Christina Lamb, which is a book about the use of rape as a weapon of war. So I'm probably thinking that even though I haven't read it yet, that's going to in fact be the darkest book that I read all year. D is for Dickens. How many Dickens novels have you read? So for sure I've read 2 Dickens novels that I can, like I'm 100% sure I've read these. So one is A Christmas Carol and the other is Hard Times. But I do hope to get to Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities for Victober later this year. D is for dictionary. In the internet years, do you still use physical paper dictionary? So no, I think I still own at least 1 or 2 physical paper dictionaries, but I would not consult one unless I was looking up a word in another language, like French or Hebrew or something. I would probably consult my physical dictionaries before the internet then, just because Google Translate is not always good, y'all. But if it's a word in English, I'll just use Google or dictionary.com or something like that because it's just easier and it's more convenient. So D is for Dagger and Detective. What was the last detective novel you read? So I'm not sure if this counts, but the last book that I read that has some kind of mystery element included in it is Stacey Abrams' While Justice Sleeps. But if we're talking a detective novel that's part of a series with an established main character, then that would probably be Attica Locke's Bluebird, which has the Texas Ranger Darren Matthews in it and is part of a series. So D is for Dostoevsky. What is your favorite Dostoevsky novel? Well, I've only read 1 Dostoevsky novel, but I really liked it, which is Crime and Punishment. And I'm hoping to get to The Idiot by the end of this year. But yeah, love Crime and Punishment. Highly recommend it. I read the David McDuff translation. Loved it. So good. D is for diversity. Which book from your reading ticked the most diversity boxes? So, I honestly have read a number of books this year that I feel like showcase intersectional identities. So I'm just going to list some here. So The 30 Names of Night by Zain Jukador, which I read as part of Pride Month, and also my own personal Arab American literature project. So Zain Jukador is a trans Syrian American writer. I also read Zami, A New Spelling of My Name by Audre Lorde, who Audre Lorde was black and a lesbian. Daylight by Roya Marsh, who is black, butch, and queer. The Prophets by Robert Jones Jr., who is black and gay. The Death of Vivek Oji by Kweki Emezi, black, queer, and non-binary writer. Under the Udala Trees by Chinelo Okparanta, who is black and lesbian. And then The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Disha Filia, which also is written by a black lesbian author. So, of all the books that I just mentioned, the one that I recommend most highly is Daylight by Roya Marsh, followed by The Death of Vivek Oji and The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. Seriously, read any of those. You will not be disappointed. D is for drawing. Who is your favorite visual artist? So, I really love the paintings of Alexandre Cabanel, who was a 19th century French artist. His painting, The Birth of Venus, is my favorite painting of all time. And one of the reasons I like it is because it has a lot of drama to it, which I really like of all of his paintings, honestly. But the other reason I love The Birth of Venus so much is because it has water in it. And I love paintings with water because it's so interesting to me to see how an artist will try to represent in 2 dimensions, a substance like water that is constantly moving. And I think it's one of my favorite, I think it's one of my favorite depictions of water that I've ever seen too. So it's not just the drama, it's also the water. But I also love some of Alexandre Cabanel's other paintings, including Phaedra, Tamar, Fallen Angel, Ophelia, and the Death of Francesca de Rimini and Paolo Malatesta. And what do all of these paintings have in common? They are all very dramatic. And they're just really dramatic on a scale that like speaks to my soul at a deep emotional level. So I will link you to the Wikipedia gallery of Alexandre Cabanel's paintings down below in case you want to check his work out. And lastly, who do I tag? I tag you if you're watching this and you want to do this tag. So thank you for watching this. This has been the what the F are you tag and the D tag. And again, thank you to Kevy and thank you to Jim and Paula. And yeah, let me know if you have thoughts about any of these things down below. I hope everyone is staying healthy and well. I hope you're doing good reading whatever you're reading. And until next time, would it kill you to call you mother?